thank you all for watching that crappy. That's pretty good, actually. It's a good. I'm going to say positive things about that video. It was a good video, and I'm sure all our fans, all our 3 fans, like that show. We're here with a good friend of ours, Andrew Velarde.
Hello.
Today. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Feeling good?
I am feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Feeling relaxed today. So
yeah.
This
when you see somebody like me, you get relaxed automatically.
Yeah. See, it's the energy is reciprocated. So you're mellow, I'm mellow.
Good energy.
Yeah.
All right. And this is gonna be, let's say the number. This is all our fans wait for this when I call out the number of the show. This is Hypnopod, episode 16.
There you go.
I have to always think before I say it because I'm like, is it 13, 15, 16? Yeah, episode 16. And you liked 16 is a good number.
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm happy we got you a good number.
Thank you. I'm glad you gave me a good number.
Yeah, I waited. You were going to be episode 15, but then you became 16. So
see? Even better.
It's all good. It all works out. And I always like to introduce, let everybody know how I meet everybody that comes on the show. And everybody's pretty much somebody I know. I don't like bringing people I don't know. So we met, how long ago was that? Maybe like a year ago.
So around so.
It was like a short film. I did the sound again. Sound men and actors have a close relationship.
I agree.
Yeah. And you're really cool, I have to say.
Thank you. I appreciate
Miking
that,
you up. You're very like, hey, do whatever you got to do, man.
Yeah. And, I try to keep it, try to keep everyone at ease. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I always have this thing. I learned from a sound man who's like mentoring me. He said, you always go up to the actor. And you probably remember I did this. Always go up to the actor and introduce yourself. Say, I'm the sound man. I'm going to be putting a lav mic. Remember I came up to you, I was like, I'm going to be putting a lav mic right here. And I always give them, he said, give them about 5 minutes and come back. Give them time. Sometimes they might have some... It's mostly for females because sometimes they might not, I have to get in there and put a lav mic in different places. I always give them time. So that's what I do. And I get this relationship, I meet cool people like yourself.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's a good way to just kind of warm it up.
Yeah. Warm up. And you did really good. And I really appreciate that project because I think I had met you actually on a different project and you had recommended me for that film. Yeah. So, and they paid me really well. Thank you.
Nice. I'm always glad to hear
I felt bad for you. I felt bad taking money from you guys, from that group.
It happens. That's production, man.
You guys, everybody was young. And I was like, damn, you guys paid better than a lot of other people.
That's what's interesting too, because a lot of these projects, a lot of them are different private parties, not just the big old kind of name thing like an HBO and Netflix, nothing like that. There's a lot of individualism now, especially with how the industry is going. So I feel like, some of the budgets they have are kind of insane sometimes.
Yeah. Like the YouTubers, like you think they're, I worked with a lot of YouTubers that I go to the project. I'm like, it's just a YouTube project, whatever. Yeah. These guys have the greatest cameras. They have the most expensive everything. And you're 20 years old?
Yes.
20. Yeah, a lot of these guys are 20 years old. And I'm like, wow. They're working with cameras that are $100,000. And they're paying me more than a lot of like professional shoots. So they are professional shoots. So I'm really impressed, man.
Have you seen? Have you heard really too much about the new Vertical series and everything like that?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Have you have you seen any at all? Or
no.
So there are these things within the industry right now. They're called Vertical series. There's a few different apps and everything that you could find them on. Some of them are pretty interesting, to say the least. Some of them are very interesting. I've got to be a part of a few. Luckily, I haven't had any weird roles because I know there are a lot of those out there. But the point being that I bring them up is because sometimes they pay some serious money, especially somebody who's starting out and somebody who may not have bigger opportunities from the jump. If you get the chance to go on one of those, they pay pretty good money out the door. But at the same time, you got to be careful and selective depending on the one that you want to be a part of, because it's always important to still remember, okay, is this kind of the path I want to lay for myself? Yeah. But yeah, there's some serious cash grabs sometimes.
And I'm going to assume when you say vertical series, they're vertical.
Yeah.
Literally vertical.
Exactly.
Oh, so they're made for the phone.
Yes. It's literally as if you go on TikTok and everything, right? Yeah. Like, how you kind of get stuck, you kind of scroll like that. Yeah. So vertical series, they're pretty much this platform where you go on it and you indulge in these, I would say you can say TV series, but they're kind of like a big movie, right? It's a big movie, but divided into, let's say, around 50 episodes, correct?
Okay.
Divided into 50 episodes. You click on one, they're around maybe anywhere from like 1 to 3 minutes. And then as soon as you're done, you scroll to the next one, scroll to the next one. And that's how they get you, because the way they keep you on that is it's just like TikTok. It's just kind of, okay, I want more, I want more. And they charge you a paywall in order to watch more. So that's how they get their money too.
Oh, this is genius.
Yeah. It's a
I had
new
never
thing.
even heard of this. See, I live under a rock these days. So
No, it happens, man.
when they're filming, do they film with a phone, or they actually film with a big camera and they just crop it?
That's a great question. No, actually, they don't film with the phone. They do film with the camera. However, the lens is vertical. So instead of horizontal, instead of like a circular camera, it's a lens around it that's literally vertical. So everything is filmed that way too. They don't have to edit it. They don't have to. It's
Gotcha.
just as that. So
Gotcha. Wow, I might have to get into this.
yeah,
You
but
know.
be careful with that.
Yeah. What's some of the downsides of it?
Good pay. Obviously, they take in a lot of new actors all the time. Like there is a lot of opportunity in those. However, some of the things, the lines they kind of cross, they're questionable a lot of times
Gotcha.
in terms of morality, in terms of, so that's why I'm lucky enough. I haven't had to deal with any of those personally, but it's because I'm very selective as well.
Yeah.
But some people, they don't care as well. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with obviously whatever your choice is, more power to you, but it really depends what kind of career you want to pay for yourself. So
My nieces made me aware of the Darman series. They give scenarios. Darman is the guy. I don't know if you've heard of. He does they do scenarios where people about morality, ethics, and stuff, and the kids are and they have like millions of views on these videos, and they're all like moral questions, people bullying each other. What would you do in this situation? And they're like little plays. And that'll be really interesting things that I really wanted to get into. But I like those those videos you watch where things are happening and they question, how would you react in this situation? And I love those things.
Yeah, no, that's really good, because with me, as I'm especially still younger in the industry, kind of trying to build a name for myself, build a brand for myself. One thing that's important to me as I navigate, especially the entertainment industry, when it comes to acting, is trying to go on a path where I'm really still sticking to my principles, sticking to my morality, and that remains unchanged and unshifted. Because one thing is that it's easy. There are different sides of the industry where people do get taken advantage of. People do get different opportunities for the wrong reasons sometimes. And that's why, yes, it may take a little longer trying to get up there. But at the same time, I think as long as I keep level headed, I think it'll be worth it in the long run. So,
and we brought up you're 20 years old.
Yes.
And you have a huge amount of credits already. Like a lot of people will work in the industry and in film and music videos and all this, and they'll only have like 15. You got to be past 40 at least.
Yeah. Oh, and I work pretty consistent. I work every week, and this is without an agent. So I've been having conversations with agents and everything, but that's a different story. But the reason I bring that up is because everything I've done is just through, honestly, consistency, just getting myself after it every single day. I was doing some businesses before I did acting as hard as I do now. And I feel like that really gave a good structure to how I go about acting, because how I go about acting is every single day, even if I'm not on set, I'm always thinking, okay, how can I elevate and how can I get further to my next goal? And that's really how I kind of structure my days. So
yeah, and you do, I got to say, as a producer myself, you do have the it factor, man.
The it factor.
The it factor.
Explain, what is the it factor?
The it factor, you just have it.
Okay.
Like you go into an audition, like something. I've done a lot of live auditions before pandemic, and somebody would come in, and I would automatically know this person's going to be a star. No word out of their mouth. I'm just like, you're going to be a star.
I appreciate that.
Like that's what I see, like right away. But like that's you brought up the business. You like had entrepreneurial. That's a hard word.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said it on the first try. Entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Yeah, the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, and you draw a lot of your the business of acting you take from them, because it is a business of acting.
Yeah,
it is a business of acting. So you started off early, like wanting to get into business.
Yeah, the whole reason why was I kind of had a situation where, in my mind, I didn't really have a safety net too much. I really kind of had to make things work, or nothing was going to happen at all. And this was even coming out of high school, just the given situation I had at the time and everything. I was like, okay, I have to make some money. I have to get things going, or else there's no other option. There is no what if, it's what will be. That was kind of the mindset I took into going in and everything. So as I try to develop business, obviously, you're not going to get it the first try. You're not going to get it the first try. You got to consistently keep at it day in and day out. And it's either all going to come together or you learn through your failures. So implementing what I knew from just even trying in my business endeavors, it really gave me a good jump when I transferred to acting. So
That's excellent. That's excellent. And I was too. I was when I was like 18, I got the entrepreneurial bug,
nice.
and I knew that I always wanted to be in business. It was also the fact that I don't want to ever work for. I don't like working for.
Yeah.
I don't like. I never liked having a boss, and I don't think anybody likes having a boss. But
No, I don't believe so.
but I always had it when I was 18, 17, 18. I wanted to just start businesses, go and just talk to people, sell things. I always had that. And I'm 48 now. I'm like, damn, I'm 28 years older than you, man.
Yeah. You're 48?
I'm 48.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
The secret is I'm sorry to say this to all the fans out there, but stay out of the sun, guys. It's tough. Either that or you got to wear a lot of sunscreen. I'm going to tell everybody, if you're in your 20s, sunscreen. It's the way. If you want to stay this beautiful. You don't have to worry, man. You got the, for now, like it's good. But like I didn't start wearing sunscreen until like the early 30s.
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry to break up, but I left our fan on.
Oh, no way.
All right. And this is Andrew. This is your spot. You can say anything you want. We're going to keep rolling.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be here. You could say whatever you want, man.
Okay.
While I turn the fan off.
Well, everybody, so now it is just me. The fan is being turned off. I hope you guys are getting something out of this, and hope you guys continue to enjoy.
And we're very raw here. We should probably we'll just keep that in there because people love the raw moments.
I agree, man.
When you leave it wasn't the AC, it was the fan, like that. It's running. So for the first 10 minutes of our show, you're going to hear.
And, it's very interesting as well because that is something I feel like normally people wouldn't consider, people wouldn't realize, but obviously you do sound.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the way we think about things in terms of, because obviously what we do or what we've done normally, that's something where it's like, oh shoot, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Sound is I love sound. And I do it for you love acting. You love being on set. I could tell you're out there, man. You're doing the thing. I really admire that.
I'm trying, man. Thank you.
And you're so young, man. It's hard to believe that you started at 18.
Yeah.
Wow. So you started at 18. Yeah, I remember you told me.
Yeah.
I remember you told me you're at 18. You were like, hey man, I think this is for me.
Yeah. I remember the first film I actually did. No. That wasn't the first film. There was one I did. It was a background job at 18, correct? And it was on a big movie set, which at the time, obviously, that was my first introductory to acting. It was a big thing for me. I was pretty surprised, and it was really fun. I got that through. It was actually my father had sent me it was some Facebook post in some group. And pretty much what entailed was the fact that, oh, hey, we're casting it was just a background thing, but I didn't really know what the difference between background, lead, supporting. I didn't really know any of that diving into the industry. And it was just by chance. I was like, okay, I don't have any professional headshots. I don't have nothing. So let me just take a picture. Hey, mom, can you take a picture of me on this wall, like right here? And yeah, sure. So took a picture on the wall, made it black and white, sent a few other ones, just random photos. And I got lucky, heard back from that. And that was cool as a first experience. And then from there, I was like, okay, wait. The connections I made on that day and the people I spoke to, it just kind of shifts your mindset and you kind of start to learn more. From there, what I had done was I took it more serious and I was like, okay, if I want to get further, I know I need professional headshots. Of course, that is your bread and butter. So I got professional headshots done. And the first thing I did was I started an Actors Access account. And from there, I actually had booked my first student film. And I booked my first student film by doing an in-person audition, which I loved because I'm not really too big on self-tapes. I really love in-person connections, meeting new people. And I'm more old school in that way, I guess, in a sense. So I had booked it from doing an in-person audition. And from there, that project actually filmed. It was every single weekend it was October of 2022. And from there, that's what gave me a really good foundation to go forward because at the time, I couldn't take acting classes. I didn't have the money for acting classes. So that gave me a really good foundation of how to actually go about being an actor on set and what works for me.
Yeah, and you are very personable, and that is important. I think that's probably half the battle is being coming across as likable and being somebody who the production is going to want to work with. I mean, you could have a pretty face like mine. But if you're not somebody that's how I was, when we were casting movies and everything, I looked for the person first and then their acting skills and whether they fit for the role. All that stuff we could rehearse. But if that person was going to be difficult or there's a personality difference, character, difference between me and that person, it would be very hard for me to cast them because that's important. And you were raised right, man. I could tell.
Appreciate that.
Mom and dad, you guys did a really great job.
I appreciate that.
You're really there's if you have a likable personality, you'll go so far just off that.
And it's good that you say that because I view very much that is something that is a skill. Yeah. I feel like that is very much something that you need to develop. And obviously, sometimes people, it's hard to work with you. Obviously, there are unlikable people. And at the same time, that's why I feel like that is a skill you can develop. Okay, you kind of just take it within yourself. How can I get better? How can I be a better man? How can I be a better person?
Yeah. And everybody's got good qualities. And everybody can, like you said, you could learn those skills and become better as a person.
I think everybody can be better in their own way because what works for me might not work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and when all those things collide and come together, you make beautiful art.
Yes.
And so you've been doing short films. You do commercials.
Yes.
Commercials, music videos.
Yes.
You like the music videos?
They're okay sometimes.
Yeah. Music. I think because you don't get to talk a lot. I mean, you don't get. It's just mostly you're there. I did a lot. I bring this up on all my shows, and I rent locations out, like my family's homes. To music videos and films, and I've done them maybe at least about 300 shoots, and 80 to 90% of them are all music videos.
Oh, no way!
Yeah,
nice.
And I thought when I started renting these houses out that they would be just films, narrative films, meeting sound men and camera people. It's all rappers. A lot of them are rappers that come out and. All kinds of country music, you name it, Armenian music, we're Armenian, so we're...
Oh, is that where you're Armenian?
Yeah.
Okay.
We even have the flag over there.
I thought I did notice that.
And then my sister went to Armenia and got me a guitar with the Armenian flag colors.
Sweet.
That's what happens when we'll take one topic and all of a sudden we're in Armenia with a guitar.
It happens, man.
This is how it works.
So you're saying you did a lot of music videos, of course. So how was that for you?
Oh, this is good. Yeah. It was great. I love the music videos because you don't have to, they don't have to worry about sound. Like a lot of times you have to be quiet on set and everybody has to freeze in the house or whatever. And you can't be there. But music videos, they're just playing the song over and over again 50 times.
Yes.
That's probably our neighbors hated it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I love the music videos because you get to meet a lot of, famous musicians would come by, and that's really fun.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes when it comes to acting in kind of like the TV and film space, when there's a bigger actor or something, like a lot of the cast, or sorry, not cast, but a lot of the crew, it's kind of like, oh, there's so many little things you got to abide by. Don't do this, don't do that, don't act like so. But I remember on one music video one time, music videos are a little more laid back. They're yes, that's why. So I remember one time there was this one music video. It was in LA and there was some very well-known artists there. And I remember I didn't even realize the artist was right in front of me, like doing certain things until we had this one scene where we went outside and then we're coming back in and I cracked a joke because it was just about acting like, oh, like this is so hard just walking. All of a sudden you forget how to walk when you're put on the spot, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I just made a joke. It was like, oh, it takes time. Just something as simple as that. And then they were laughing and then all of a sudden I realized when the director called their name upstairs and said their name, I was like, oh wait.
That's them.
I was like, oh, hey. So the reason I bring that up is because there's a different dynamic in certain relaxability music videos involve versus how it would be on normal everyday to day sets.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they all have their qualities. Like a lot of actors that have come on here, I've always asked them, what don't you like about, they're like multiple takes. The same thing, after the 5th take, 6, sometimes you have to go 8 takes and I lose my mind after the 4th take. Oh, do you find that? Like how many takes is too many takes for you?
I feel like when you're in the moment and you're actually playing a lead part, supporting part, or at least even something with lines, it's a totally different story than being a background all day.
Oh,
background is rough.
Is
man.
it?
Yes. The reason it's rough is because you're there and when you're background, you're kind of disposable in a way, right?
Right.
The reason I continue still to do background still is because I'm trying to you got to get in the union, and to do that, there's certain requirements you got to meet while doing background, or you just get a very big budget project and you get a very good role in that. And both are really a matter of opportunity and luck, right place, right time.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you're a background on these sets, you could work anywhere from 8 to 12 hours and you could be doing nothing all day. And then you come in, you finally are like, okay, like we're on set, and it could still be the same scene, same shot. It just sometimes it never ends.
Yeah, man. I did a couple too when I was coming up. I was really younger, like when I was 15, 16, 17, my friends would be like, hey, we'd do some background work, and we'd go on these movies and stuff. We thought we were so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd go into like all the back lots, and then we'd sneak out into the back lots. Like even right here, we're near Paramount here. We'd go to Paramount and we'd just like sneak out and do things. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
There's something about film sets, backlots, that is unlike anything else. The smell of like a soundstage, there's nothing like it.
I remember the student film I was talking about, the very first kind of, I don't want to say major, but the first very good one that gave me a foundation. By major, I just mean like, obviously it wasn't like a big TV thing or a big movie or nothing. I remember when we did that whole production, the funny thing was there were some people that came up because it premiered at Warner Brothers Studios. So that was very, very nice, very cool, especially for my first major student film. That was very nice to experience, where it got put on the big screen and was like, whoa, this is kind of the first taste of that. And I remember there was some people, they're around my age and everything, some college students, they went up, they're like, hey, we're about to go kind of explore the backlot of Warner Brothers Studio. We're gonna go find, I think it was like the fountain from Friends or something like that. And they were so interested, like, come on, you wanna go do it? And then me, I was busy with everything else right there. But it was funny because yes, there is a lot of pretty cool stuff when you kind of just roam by yourself in those areas. So.
Oh man, I've gone through, I used to work in the Universal Studios backlot. So where the tram takes you and all that. I had access with a golf cart to drive all around that for a year and a half or so while I worked down there.
Nice.
And man, that was the best times of my life.
Oh, I could only imagine.
And I would wave I would ride the golf cart, and then the studio tour would come by and I'd wave at them, and they'd all like be taking pictures of me, thinking I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And I'd be like this. And I guarantee you there's pictures out there from 20 years ago. Pictures of me in the back lot, random pictures of tourists taking pictures of me.
That's good.
That's somewhere. I don't know. And this is like 2002-ish. So I don't know if digital was as big then. So they're probably printed out pictures of like, who's this guy on this? So maybe I'm famous somewhere. Somebody's like put my picture on a refrigerator going, some actor, we don't know who this is.
Could happen. They're like, well, who's this famous director
Yeah.
here?
Little did we know that he'd be doing the greatest podcast in history one day.
See, now they'll figure it out.
You never know. You never know. They might like look me up and stuff one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So backlots, that smell of the soundstage. We used to go to Married with Children a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show tapings.
Okay.
So back in the day, they'd give you these free passes to go watch these shows live.
Mm.
Like all these. Now I don't think they do live tapings. You probably know better than me. Is there live audiences anymore?
You know,
I don't know.
if there are live audience, it really depends on the production. But even the live audiences, they're actors.
Yeah.
Like it's never like genuine people. It's actors.
Or they have some really like advanced laugh tracks or something. You know.
Like for example, I don't know if I can say the name of the show actually now that I think about it. But anyways, it was this one game show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen me on it, then you know. But point being though is that I remember on the game show and everything, the everything's kind of pre-selected, premeditated to an extent. Nothing is completely random.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to like the laughing, the applause, the cheering and everything from the crowds, like it's very specific. They very much tell you, okay, when you're going to do it, when to stop, when to start. So everything is very, very, very pre-programmed.
Yeah. A lot of, it's funny is a lot of people don't know how produced things are.
Oh yeah.
And then you read about yourself. I'm sure you've been on shows where the reality shows or stuff, and I have too. And I'll go on Twitter. This is before it was X, of course. Mm-hmm. I'll go on Twitter and stuff while the show's airing, and then the things people are saying about you. I'm like going, oh my God, I wish these people knew that I was faking that whole thing. They're like, he's such a douchebag, and he's a little baby or cry. He's oh my God, this guy. I'm like, oh my God, they have no clue. I was like, well, at least maybe I'm a good actor.
Mm.
They actually believe they fell for it because the production is the producers will sit there with you and you're creating things with them. You're helping because you want to make the best episode possible. And if that means you're going to totally go out of character and do real personal character, because you're playing yourself, but you're not really playing yourself. No. And there's that element there.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that because there had been some other projects recently I did, and it's so funny because obviously you don't want to go too much reading up like what people are saying, everything. It's just you take everything with a grain of salt. That's it. Especially depending on what you do. If it's something where the example like it's a reality based thing, sometimes those people don't understand how really fake, quote unquote, it is to an extent. So I remember it was so funny. These two things that I did, it was literally like 1 to 2 months ago. And it's so funny reading the comments and everything on them because I actually enjoy it since it's like, okay, I feel like I played that part pretty good if everyone's all kind of against me in a way, Yeah. And then because in reality, it's like, oh no, he's really like that. But people see me like this, that's great because that means I feel like I did a good job on that.
Yeah. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's like fun because you know yourself that you were playing this role. But even though it's not supposed to be a role, like, what I love is I'm like veering off into topics. I love the new courtroom, the fake courtroom dramas, they have. And you could tell not before there were real people having real issues. The background people were actors, but the two people on the most part, even Judge Judy, I think, they're real people who have real issues that, small claims court kind of thing. But nowadays, even the plaintiff and the defendants are actors.
It's really funny you say that because I've done one of those.
You did one?
I've done one of those where I was the plaintiff. Totally made up scenario and everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So
I'm going to go find you, man. I'm going to find this episode.
What's ironic too is I haven't even watched it myself.
Oh, really?
No, like to this day, I even got a picture sent to me one time. It was like, hey, like it was pretty much a picture of me on that show. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I haven't even seen that myself yet. And I was still 19 at the time, but like early 19. So I did that a while
man.
ago, and I still haven't seen it to this day. But
Yeah, those you can never tell now because the judges are even actors.
oh yeah,
So now it's so funny because there's no law that says you can't have fake judges on a TV show.
No.
So, but most people who will watch it will think the judge, the plaintiff, the defendant, or even the sheriff or whatever
they're all on
they're
it.
all from LA. Well, it's not LA Casting anymore. I think LA Casting is out.
What did I get it from? I think
Casting Networks or from what's the other one?
I want to say I might have got it through Backstage.
Oh, Backstage.
I mean, it might have been Backstage, but I remember even after they're like, "Oh, hey, you have a look we're looking for," and it was on some one of these casting platforms. But
yeah.
I think but even those ones, they promote mainly background work. So I don't know how that works because obviously I was the plaintiff, I wasn't the audience. So it's interesting how that works.
I'd love to be the audience member.
Oh, it's funny.
I'd be the coolest audience member in the back. I'll be like, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah. And I really wish I would be able to do that same thing now because it was such a funny storyline, such a good one and everything that we could have nailed. But then I remember it was just a lack of experience at the time. I didn't do bad, but I could have done so much better.
It's mostly improv, though.
Yes, exactly.
So they give you the scenarios. So it's really not even, it's real.
To an
You're
extent.
improving, yeah. You
To an
know,
extent, yeah.
yeah, so they'll be like, okay, so he owes you $20 for your guitar that he sold you.
Mm.
And you claimed $200 and he only gave, and then they go with it.
Yeah. So like for example, I could tell you what one we talked about was about edibles. It was about edibles, and in a nutshell, it was pretty much my friend. He had given me some edibles, but they're very strong, stronger than I thought. I had missed some game I was supposed to go with my girlfriend the next day because I don't remember if I slept or I just knocked out or I felt really sick or something. And I was trying to sue him for the game that I missed. And yeah.
And they're like, okay, that's your story. It's one line. Go with it.
They give you the story, they give you your name, they give you his name, and they're like, okay, talk about this, kind of try to make it go this way. And whatever happens, happens. So,
I love these producers, these guys that just sitting there in like some office and they're like, okay, here's our show, man. We're going to get a fake judge, all right? Okay, sounds great. And we get a plaintiff and defendant. We just write one line, and we say, go.
Yep.
And that's it.
And clearly there's an audience who enjoys that.
Yeah. And they pop them out fast. They
Oh, yeah.
probably pop out like 50 shows a week or something.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like
No,
one after the other.
Easily, because I remember even in that environment, there was just there was a lot of people. Obviously, I don't know how many were audience and everything, but mine was I think it was the last one of the day. But before that, there was at least 10 different ones. There was
Wow.
at least. So all day they're just going. And when you go, it was maybe like we're in the actual courtroom. The audience I think stays all the time, but the actual courtroom, the plaintiff and the defendant, it was around maybe 10 minutes were there. And that was it. 10
Wow.
minutes. 10 minutes, but beforehand you're prepping the entire time. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I got to start creating a fake show for myself too.
there's a lot of them out there.
So let's say, you do pretty much, you're doing everything. You like the music videos, narrative films. You'll like, hey man, do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, as long as it aligns with me and I feel like it's something that will be beneficial and nothing that's pushing like, do I think this is going to go well? And like, let's say against my principles or something like that. As long as it's not any of that, there's a lot of cool, fun productions. And it's in a way you're kind of carving out your path for the bigger picture, because what I want to do is I want to do movies. I want to be a movie actor. And I understand just you got to put yourself out there and just kind of just build and build. So
Yeah.
it's good to be on what I personally believe. I feel like it's good to be on different type of course, commercials and everything like that. And then at the same time, be on different type of student films starting out, try to get yourself on bigger things with TV. I mean, it's harder obviously without an agent, but as long as I could kind of expand where you see my face, I feel like that's beneficial because you start to get recognition in different areas.
Yeah.
So,
And you're doing the most important thing, which is you're going out there and you're networking, networking is the game.
of course.
Acting is the business side. is networking and meeting people. Like now that you met me, it's
See, man.
it's gonna look great, man.
hey, no, but at the same time, though, man, I want to start making my own films and stuff. And hey, good sound guy right here, man.
Yeah,
So.
man. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's good. It's good, and I did make right before you got here. I always bring this up. The world famous 10 questions.
Okay.
Or it's actually 14 questions. So
let's get them.
We got a long way for those. I think we got a bunch of things we can still talk to you about. I know you saw my guitars here.
Oh yes.
And I know when I met you like a year ago or so, you said you also jam on the guitar.
Yes.
And what's your main guitar?
So the main guitar I had, it was an Epiphone Les Paul, and I also have. Yeah, I would say had, but no, I still have it. It's a Schecter Damien Elite 6.
Oh.
Those are the two I used. I love acoustic as well. I started wanting to play that more. At the time, when I was younger, I was in guitar classes and everything too. So I used to play acoustic a lot through the guitar class, but I haven't played in a really long time. Just everything gets busy, priorities, but it's definitely something that I would pick up and I would love to do every now and then. It's just very much a muscle you got to keep working at. So I know it's there.
And you get the calluses on the fingers.
Oh yeah. But I got
Are you
fat
left-handed?
fingers. No, I'm actually right-handed.
Right-handed?
Yeah.
So-
So I got fat fingers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They make some good guitars for bigger. They're like this Les Paul behind you has got, man, you got to have a huge hand.
Yeah.
But that thing, difference between, I know nobody asked this, okay, but I'm like, so playing a Gibson, I've had this one for 30 years. I've had that one for 20 years. The
Nice.
Les Paul for 20 years. The only main difference is the weight for me, because the Les Paul is so freaking heavy. See, we can say freaking, but we can't say anything else on here.
I'm trying to censor myself a little bit.
I never say that's the worst word I've said on this podcast so far.
Good.
But Gibson Les Paul, for me, it's just the weight. The guitar doesn't move. When you're playing, it's like it's there.
Very sturdy.
This, like the Fender, it's just flying, all of the heads flying. It's a different thing. I love playing both. Depends on what the sound I'm trying to get to, you know. The Les Paul give me like, it's just way thicker and deeper.
Yeah.
And then if I want to play twangy, stuff.
I remember my dream guitar when I was younger. It was are you familiar with the Gibson SG?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I used to
Angus.
Yeah, that was the guitar I always wanted when I was younger. But of course, at the time, it was a pretty expensive guitar.
Yeah.
So I just love the sound it produces because it's very deep.
Yeah,
It's very it has that different type of sound that I really enjoyed on an electric guitar.
Yeah,
So,
it's got a beautiful, awesome fretboard. It's kind of like big chunky.
Yeah.
It's chunky. I like that. And then that doesn't move a lot either. You know, it's not as heavy as the Les Pauls, but I like that. I like when the guitars don't move.
Yeah.
Like it's on you, but you get back problems, man.
I could only imagine.
I used to play with a strap for the Les Paul that was like a really thin strap, and afterwards I noticed my right here was just in pain. I'm like, why is it in pain? I couldn't put two and two together. This is strap.
Yeah.
And I got a thicker strap afterwards. It still hurts, but not as bad. I used to have like this big red line here. So Fender, Gibson, and you got the. I have a. I believe I have a Gibson. What's the other one? What's the brand did you have? You said
Epiphone?
Epiphone. So I have an Epiphone Les Paul 2 in the back.
Yeah. But the Gibson I understand.
Gibson,
is a lot better. Yeah.
I love them both. You know, like they all have their different sounds and everything. Yeah. And you were talking about business. Did you start any businesses too? Like, did you have any like small businesses that you tried out?
In the past or currently?
Currently or in the past? Either
You
one.
know, so in the past, I dealt with three. One of them was Amazon FBA, buying and selling stuff on Amazon. Another one was drop shipping, creating websites, trying to sell products. And then the other one I was doing for a while was a digital marketing company. And I learned something from each of them. I learned a lot, especially that was important going into the next one. And I had to stop those for a while just because when you're trying to be a full-time entrepreneur and you're trying to do acting full-time as well, those take up all of your time. Those are very much two very time-consuming subjects. And in order to be successful at them, I feel you need to give one of them your everything. You got to give it your all if you want to get somewhere. So I chose the acting route. And I had this whole kind of system, this whole plan in my head as to why I did. And as I chose the acting route and everything, I feel now I'm in a position where, okay, I'm a little more established. There are certain things where you kind of, in acting, sometimes it is a waiting game, no matter how persistent, no matter how much you get after it. There are certain things you got to wait on. There are certain opportunities you just get from actually working, but sometimes there are uncontrollable factors. So right now, I feel I'm in a position where, okay, I still, no matter what, view owning a business, having a business as a way of leverage, as a way of actually building wealth in the long run. So what I'm truly trying to do is, well, not even trying, what I'm in the process of doing is I have something in development that kind of aligns with everything I'm doing. So everything coincides with each other. This whole business plan I have, I guess, constructed. So
So you got a good head on your shoulders, man.
I'm trying.
Like it's good because you're staying focused is really important. And the number one thing, you probably already know this, but number one thing is sticking with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people give up way too early. And even I know a lot of people have come here after 4 or 5 years. They're like, I'm here for 4 or 5 years. I'm going on auditions. I'm doing this. I'm done. I give up. And I'm like, you can't give up at that. You got to, do you want to act? Then act.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ever like, oh, I'm giving up on it. Just keep working at it.
Yeah. And I think the difference is how, since I don't really have a safety net, and my thing is either give it my all or none at all.
Or none at all.
It's a simple situation of there is no other option to me.
Yeah.
There is no other option. It's either I make this work or nothing happens at all.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the other option, it's okay. So what am I going to do from here? Even at the very bottom, all I could do is climb.
So. Keep working. And it always pays off. It's not even anything, like Hollywood, Schmollywood, it's all the same now. Yeah. Things have kind of merged. We're in the space where somebody like me, even just go buy a camera, I could make a film now.
Yes.
The days of like film cameras being exclusive to these big production companies and everything is kind of gone.
And yeah, I agree. And I feel like there's a lot of different opportunity nowadays for individuals, because now I feel Hollywood, it's very closed off in a way where they recycle the same actors. They always produce kind of the same movies. A lot of things are just remakes, or that's where they need something new. They need a refresh. They need to bring in new people. They need just a whole reset that I feel like now a lot of private people, private companies, individuals can make projects that can kind of compete now simply because of the fact that they're bringing in fresh and new ideas that I feel the industry needs. So
yeah, exactly. Like you were bringing up last time, you brought up earlier the vertical films, and there's so many different mediums that people have. Younger, like 12-year-olds, even 12, 15-year-olds, they could be making films now too that I never got into film when I was younger. When I was younger, I never got into films making. I always wanted to, but digital there was no digital. There was no easy access. You had to go to film school. You had to work your way up. And so if I had cameras, the same type of like digital cameras we have now, like RED cameras and stuff, and RE cameras and all this stuff, I'd be making films. I would have started way earlier. I started right in 2009 when I started. I was like, well, now that we have these digital cameras, pro looking, that you can change the focus, depth of field and everything, I said, okay, now is my time.
Yeah.
And then, so everybody has that option. It's so beautiful that anybody could make films now. Not anybody, but you have to work at it. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's the hardest form of art, because you have to have multiples of people.
Of course. It's a very collaborative effort. You can't do nothing in those regards on an individual level. Yeah. And and building off of that point as well, it's interesting because I feel like the internet really provides these opportunities that, like you said, that weren't prevalent before. And that's a gift and a curse in a way. It's a gift because it gives a lot of people who used to not be able to do certain things a new spotlight, a new light, a new opportunity, as long as you just work hard and build at it. But then the con to that too is that even as an actor, I love that old school Hollywood. Like you're not really on nothing aside from you see them on TV. You see them
Yeah.
on TV, you see them on movies, but you don't really know their personal life. You don't really know how they are as an individual on their own. And I really like that concept, but I feel now it's a lot of things. You got to really build your brand up, and you got to really put yourself out there on even socials and everything just to get noticed sometimes by these producers and everything.
Yeah.
So,
And there's so much content now.
yeah.
It's overwhelming. That's the negative side of what we were just talking about, which is the fact that it's so accessible now makes it like so that everybody can make something.
Mhm.
But it's a lot of times it's not the end goal. It's the process of making these beautiful art pieces and art movies and telling your story, having a political message. It's really important.
Yeah.
We've had a great pod. This has been so good. I think that we can probably move to asking you my famous 10 questions.
Yeah, very well.
And let me do, before I start, I'm going to do my guessing.
Mhm.
Okay, this is going to be all wrong. I always get it wrong.
It's all good. Give it your best shot, man.
Okay, I'm going to do one thing only. I'm going to guess your sign.
Okay.
No way. I have 1 in 12 chance, okay, of guessing you're around when you were born, okay? So, and everybody's going to see me fail once again. This is the thing I do.
It happens.
I'm what do you call it? I'm trademarking this where you
Yeah.
put hand. I don't think anybody's done this before, right?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think I stole it from like people have probably been doing it for like 100 years. I think Johnny Carson used to do something back in the day. His talk show, he'd put like a thing on
Yeah.
an envelope. He had this envelope, Johnny Carson. He'd have this envelope where he would put the envelope to his head and he would read what's in the envelope,
Mhm.
and he would open up the envelope. And okay, so this is kind of the same thing. Okay, I'm feeling Capricorn vibe. Capricorn. I'm going to name off a bunch of zodiac signs, and then I'm going to see your reaction to those to read if I'm close or not. So
Okay.
this is almost like a lie detector kind of thing where I'm going to read you. Capricorn. I'm seeing Capricorn. I'm seeing Libra sign. Scorpio. Pisces. I'm going to do 2 Pisces. I'm feeling Capricorn more. I'm feeling like you're earlier in the year. Capricorn, Gemini, maybe Aquarius, Gemini, Aquarius. I'm going to take off the later months. Not Scorpio, because I'm a Scorpio. Not Libra. Not Cancer, not Pisces. I'm feeling, okay, I'm going to go with the earlier part of the year. Capricorn. You have a Capricorn, definitely in the cusp of Capricorn, which is January-ish. December, I think Capricorn is December 20-something to January something. So you're on that cusp of Capricorn. Capricorn, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. You're between you're a Capricorn, you're an Aquarius. Aquarius.
Is that your final guess?
I'm reading you. You're giving me a lot of clues because I'm really, really good at body language. So when I said Aquarius, you had a little twitch. So I read that. I'm good at this. So I'm gonna say Aquarius in your February, early February, Aquarius or late, but you're not a middle February. So you gave me clues again. So when I said late, I said so late January, early February. I'm reading cues.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, man.
Late January, early February. So I'm going to say between January 20 and February 10. Right around there.
Is that your final guess?
Yes.
January 28th. It's pretty good, man. Pretty good.
And all because of the clues you were giving me.
Yeah.
I didn't have any clue. I was just reading. When I say things, I could read just a little bit. I could get that. So you're January 28.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
That's Aquarius? It's Aquarius.
I believe so.
Yeah. January
Yes.
20.
Yes.
Hey guys, I could do all kinds of readings and stuff, you want, maybe I should change my podcast to people coming over and I'm just reading them.
Got a few talents up your sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, my mom does the coffee reading. So she
really?
taught me early. You just read people's fortune.
Mm.
Okay. So I talked way too much there.
No, you're good, man.
I'm trying to, like, my mom, after a couple of my episodes, she's always like, I like your show, but you talk too much.
Is your mom fully Armenian?
Yeah. She's like, you talk too much.
Yeah.
Say a couple of questions and let your guest answer. Yeah, she doesn't even have the accent like that. I just make, say a couple of things and let your guest answer.
Yeah.
Let them talk. I was like, okay, Mom. But the next episode, I yapped again.
Yeah.
Just talk.
You know, sometimes it just flows, man.
It flows. So you got to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to show you got to have a little personality.
I agree.
It's all about a little personality.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 questions. World famous. Roll the 10 questions music. Oh, we don't have that yet.
Oh, soon.
Maybe I should do that.
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. These are really dumb questions. I always let everybody know they're not the greatest questions, but they always spur some kind of. How much time do you think has passed on the podcast? I always make people guess.
Oh wait, let me not look. Maybe I would say an hour.
An hour?
So
Yeah,
an hour.
probably. Okay. And we don't ask any. I decided not to ask people to like and subscribe anymore. I don't know if that's a good idea.
It's like reverse psychology.
Yeah, don't like and subscribe. Everybody's like, smash it. Yeah, this is more for fun, for me. But I also like to promote, so we're gonna promote you. And,
I totally understand that. No worries.
Yeah. So okay, here goes. Question number 1.
Let's go.
What is your dream car?
Dream car. Now we talking dream car in the long run or dream car now?
Long run. If you
Long
had,
run.
if money wasn't an object.
Money wasn't an object. You know, a car I really want is probably. There's a lot of dream cars I want, but one of them is a 6'4" Impala.
Oh yeah, you going
Yeah.
way back. Nice.
I like old school cars, man. That's what I like. Yeah, so either that or like a C10 Chevy truck.
Oh wow, you like those old? You like the
I love old
stuff,
schools.
old schools.
Yeah, I got a really good appreciation of old school cars, but we're talking, like there's exotic levels and everything. One of the other cars I like, like a Lamborghini Huracan, But then it's like, who
I'll take
who
that.
doesn't
Yeah, who
want like a
doesn't want
Lambo
that, right?
or like a, But
Yeah.
I got a really good appreciation of old school cars.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then the louder, the better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what? I've been driving. I drove by a couple of like 60s and 70s cars yesterday, and you could see the weight of them. They're so heavy, a lot of them. And I love when you could feel and see the weight of a car. It's like all metal,
Oh yeah.
Those are my dad. We used to drive to Vegas in those tanks. It was an amazing thing.
Yeah. And that's why even with my Jeep that I had mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
that's why I got a good appreciation of it because it's not some new one. But it's not necessarily super old school, but it's a 93 and it's a stick shift, fully kind of, it's got like that super metal,
Yeah.
So it's a different type of appreciation I do have for it. And then because I just like old school cars in general.
Yeah.
So
It's very Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
appreciate
Hollywood.
that.
I love that. I saw you rolling up. I said, oh.
I appreciate it, man.
I hope your other car's okay. Is it gonna?
It wasn't too bad. Just
Yeah.
obviously just an inconvenience, but nonetheless, obviously, I'm fortunate and grateful enough that I at least have another car. So I'm not stranded.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That's good. All right. I think that was a good first question. 10 points for that.
appreciate it, man.
We're gonna lock that in with the judges. Judges.
And last
Yeah.
note on that too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool because I've gotten the opportunity to have driven a '67 Impala too.
Oh, nice.
And this one was with an LS swapped engine, so it's pretty nice.
There's a song that has the word. I'm sure there's a lot of rap songs that have Impala in it, but I remember one that's got 60 deep on the Chevy Impala.
Oh, I know exactly.
Who's that? What
It's
song?
I don't remember, but then it was. I know exactly what
Like
song you're talking
90s,
about.
right?
Exactly.
90s.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll look it up after. All right, this is question number 2. I can't even see when you get to my age, the eyesight starts. Oh, it's only my left side though. My
Okay.
left eye, my right eye is perfect.
Hmm.
My left eye is to the camera. My left eye, or I don't know.
That's
Okay, so a musical artist or band you would love to see play live anytime in the future.
musical artist or band I would love to see live. You want my honest truth?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think too much about those things.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
like
don't- that's good. That's
like,
good.
even in general, I notice myself even in the car. Sometimes I like to sit in silence. I'm a little weird in that way. I listen to all types of genres of music and everything, but sometimes I'd rather just sit there in silence.
You know, I could totally feel you on that because I have that same quality too.
Really?
Just silence. I don't need it. I don't need music. I don't need anything.
Sometimes it just fogs the brain a little too much to me. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it could be a little bit too much. We'll take that as the judges.
it's
We can't force them into. Oh yeah, no. Then okay. That's good. No. That's good. No, I like that too because a lot of times silence is in itself. You have your own thoughts. You're like, hey, I have my thoughts. I don't need it. I don't think anything else.
Exactly.
That's good. We'll take that as an answer. That's good. Cool. Number 2. There's no right or wrong answers here. It's kind of like Family Feud. You could skip answers.
Okay.
We'll come back to no. I thought of doing an episode where I just steal questions from Family Feud. Like top 5. What are like those scandalous questions they ask on Family Feud?
Yeah, you gotta add a little cash prize at the end.
Yeah, and I'll do like faces like Steve Harvey when the answers come in. I'll be like,
got that over dramatic expression.
How could you say that?
Yeah.
All right, this is number 3. This is what's your favorite Halloween costume that you've worn in the past?
Favorite Halloween costume worn in the past. Favorite Halloween costume worn in the past. I feel like when I was younger, because I can't really think of too many favorite Halloween costumes I've worn now. Like, yeah, I've done some, but nothing major.
Yeah.
But in the past, when I was younger, I used to really love this ninja costume. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, there was some ninja costume I had that no matter where I went, I remember when I was with my mom, and we're talking even just from like a motel or something like that, just kind of walking across the street, just ninja costume on. Had no reason to, wasn't even Halloween, but it was around that time.
Yeah.
So I'll say that was one of my favorite costumes. It was I was very young wearing a ninja costume.
Yeah, well, yeah. I went through my ninja phase too, where I was everything ninja. I had the ninja stars, that you throw against the wall.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had the ninja stars you throw.
I might have, but sometimes I'll be a little rough with things and try to mess around too much, so I might have hurt somebody.
Yeah. I grew up here in near Koreatown in LA, and there used to be a bunch of shops that would sell ninja stars back then.
Oh, no
I don't think they have them anymore, but
like legitimate ninja stars?
Legitimate, like
that's pretty good.
Sharp and everything. And the lady would ask us, so I'm talking like 6, 7 years old, 8, like kids, like we shouldn't have these sharp things made. They could kill us.
Yeah.
She would ask us, she would say, do you guys go to a public school or private school? And we go, we're in a private school. And she goes, okay, here you go. Like, I always wondered if we said public school, if she can't sell it to us.
That's interesting.
We'd go to this wall, like 2 blocks from where we are right now. And there was this wood wall, and there's like thousands of little holes in there.
I remember when I was very young as well, there was, I always had a pretty good fascination for history. And then I remember when I was young, we're talking maybe anywhere from, I don't know, maybe like 10 to 12, anywhere from that range. There was this katana, this samurai like type of katana, right? And I remember I used to like messing with it and just kind of, just mess like, and I was young. I mean, I understand there was no reason to have it, but at the same time, I had a different fascination for it because I enjoyed even history at that age. And, I like things like that. So it's funny you said ninja stars. For me, it was a katana.
Yeah, katana, man. I got to have a katana and ninja stars growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
All right. I'd love to expand on that we can talk about that subject for days probably.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I love that stuff too. All right, this one's going to be a little easy one. You have choice of 3 types of food: Mexican, ramen, or pizza, even though they're not really equivalent things. Mexican food, ramen, or pizza. Or maybe I could say burritos, ramen, or pizza, or something like that.
I would have to go with Mexican food.
Yeah?
Mexican food. If it is ramen, I like going out and eating ramen like that. But I was never somebody who ate like the little pack ramen and stuff like that.
Like top ramen type thing.
No, I was never one of those people.
Yeah, unless you're in like I probably haven't eaten one of those in It's been a long time.
I agree, but I definitely got to say Mexican food.
Yeah, Mexican food. And what's your favorite like type of thing? Like burritos, tacos?
You know, I love burritos. I love tacos, but there are a lot of different dishes. And you know, ironically, I'm half Mexican. Sometimes I know I need to expand a little more on that part because there are certain dishes that I very much enjoy, but I can't even think what the name of them on the top of my head, and it's really annoying to me.
Enchilada, tostada.
No, they're very more like traditional plates, and I can't even think of what they're called. You know,
chili relleno.
No,
I don't know if that's Mexican.
You know, if I think of it, we'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, but you know, it's going to be in the back of my mind.
Judges, can we come back to that question? They're giving me okay.
Hopefully.
Can you guys keep it down back there, please? We're doing a podcast here. That's a stupid running joke I've been doing for like 2 episodes where I pretend that there's a bunch of people in the back, and it's I don't know if I'm gonna keep up with that one. Okay, that's question number 4. Great job. Okay, this might be a tough one because you drove up from OC. So I don't know. Like Dodgers or Angels?
Oh, Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be an Angel fan growing up because my father was, but then as I got older, my brother was a Dodger fan, and you know, I feel like that's how I just kind of became more because the first ever Dodger game I went to was a World Series game as well.
Oh wow,
so that was pretty cool.
Dodgers World Series. So what year was that? Like
it was 2018.
2018. So it's been only like 6 years. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So that was But even before then, like. Yeah, sure, I like the Angels, but when you're growing up, you don't really know what you like to an extent. So as I got older, I was like, nah, I'm a Dodger fan. I like the Dodgers.
I switched too. I was a Dodgers, Angels, Dodgers. In the 80s as a kid, I was a full-on Dodgers fan. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I became an Angels fan also in the 90s. And then I stopped watching any baseball and still haven't watched them. But now I'm more, Dodgers, of course.
And you know what was pretty cool? I actually got the opportunity to be in a Dodgers commercial.
Oh wow!
So that was very nice.
You've done a lot in 2 years.
You know, yeah. I kind of look back sometimes, and I'm grateful because without an agent, I work almost every week.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's pretty interesting to think about, especially like I said, without an agent. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you even got this podcast. I don't know how you secured this amazing podcast.
It's pretty good booking, man.
This is the career-defining moment for most people here. This podcast, Hypnopod, with our 100 subscribers. Okay, so Dodgers locked in the answer for Dodgers. Here we go. Let's go. Move on to number 6. This is no good. Okay, what is your go-to snack at a movie theater?
Go-to snack. Gosh, I'm pretty boring in some aspects. Like even with the movies and stuff, I can't. Sometimes I literally cannot sit down to watch a full movie because I feel like I feel ironically in the industry I'm in and everything, but I feel like sometimes, oh gosh, I'm wasting my time right now. Like just my mind's always kind of go sometimes. So even sitting down to watch a movie or like we're talking about earlier, like concerts and everything, like sometimes like my mind's always elsewhere, So I don't go to the movie theaters too often, but if there is a really good movie, I definitely do enjoy it. As far as snacks, anything from 7-Eleven up the street, not necessarily at the movie theater.
You sneak it in, right?
Yes, sir.
Sneak it in, put it in the side pocket or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise you're going to be like paying like $12 for Raisinets.
Yep.
Or something.
And if I do, it's always when I do get snacks, always something like protein related or like some random drinks. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't believe you said that, because I have a hard time watching movies these days too. And you got where I am. Like that's how I am right now. I can't sit down for 2 hours or an hour and a half to watch a movie. Yeah. And everybody's always like, "Hey, did you see this movie? Did you see this movie? Did you see this movie?"
I'm like, I haven't.
No, I can't. I can't. It's more like I'm just restless now. Like you're saying, like I can't sit there. You can see, like I'm like, but I can't sit there and watch a movie nowadays. But I used to be able to. I got here over years and years and years of, I could be doing something else right now. And if I do watch a movie, I'm never only just watching a movie.
You're always doing something else.
I got a laptop going and I miss half the movie.
Yeah.
The plot, who cares,
Yeah.
And watch the movie.
Exactly.
It still counts.
Yeah. See?
Anyway, that was a good answer.
Sure.
We're going with 7-Eleven we're going for the 7-Eleven, guys.
7-Eleven instead of the movie theater.
This one I proposed, I just random question. you could have an Oscar for the Oscars, right? You have an Oscar and be broke, or have $1 million.
An Oscar and be broke, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
An Oscar and be broke because we live in an attention economy now. If you have an Oscar, that means you have a degree of attention on you, correct?
Mhm.
There's a pretty big film you had to be in order to get that Oscar. Now, if I may be broke in the moment, that's one thing, but how I capitalize and use the fact that I did get an Oscar, especially in those industries and everything, that's pretty good. So as long as I leverage myself, put myself in the right rooms, put myself through the right doors, get the right opportunities, and really utilize that to build a brand as a whole and put my name out there more, I feel like I'll get more than that $1 million in the end.
That's right. Yeah, you can use that the leverage of the Oscar, and from that Oscar, you're going to have doors open, especially at age 20.
Mhm.
So
Especially-
maybe your answer might be different if you're like 60,
Yeah,
possibly.
I agree.
Because at 60, you might.
It's not as marketable too.
It's
know?
not as marketable,
and I
yeah.
feel like because you're young with an Oscar, I feel like the reputability as well
Yeah.
in any kind of endeavor you put yourself in.
Yeah.
I feel like the return on that will be a lot greater than just the million up front, because I feel like we live in an attention economy. The money will follow if you play
The
the
money
cards
will-
correctly.
That's right. And there's such a good answer you gave that our judges have signaled. They're giving you 20 points for that one.
See, it's perfect.
They're really nice in the back there. So actually, I didn't write 10 questions. I wrote 14 questions.
No worries.
How concerned are you about climate change?
Honestly, I don't really think about it too much. I don't, honestly. Do you have specific views on that?
I think that we could do a lot more
Mhm.
to help our countries need to come together. We can get it more. There's a lot of people who are against electric cars
Mhm.
or green, doing anything green because there's denying science.
Mhm.
That I don't see an end to that. I don't see how that's helping anybody. And polluting our earth.
Mhm.
People always go, "Oh, the climate," but they're okay with polluting our planet.
Mhm.
So I do have a lot of views. I always like, because you're the younger generation now, and I
Yeah.
always like to ask and get feeling, of
And it's interesting you say that, because I always like hearing different sides, different perspectives, especially topics like that, because a lot of people, I feel they can't really have conversations without having some degree of over emotionality involved. Like I
Mhm.
feel like there's nothing wrong with having two sides, of course, you
Yeah.
know. And with me, the reason I can't specifically say something is because I haven't done enough research into it
Yeah.
to fully give my opinion. I don't like to give my opinion on things where it's like, okay, I don't even have a full understanding to be confident in
Yeah.
my side, you know?
Yeah.
So with me on those things, like I know like the one things I do know revolving around it is I don't feel like I don't feel like gas cars are necessarily the problem, because even making electric cars, they gotta do a lot of work that just pollutes in general, even
Yeah.
in these other
Making
countries
them.
and stuff. Yeah. So
just make it.
I feel like there's a big push for different reasons as well, but obviously there's a whole lot of different factors involved too that I don't know about. So that's why I just I'm pretty neutral. I don't have too much of an opinion on it.
Yeah, and it's a big question. But I do think that like the new generation, everything's in your guys' hands,
Mhm.
And I saw what happened during like the pandemic when we were just having no cars and all this stuff. And our skies were blue again.
Yeah, I
was
remember.
really nice.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it was an amazing time, and the air was beautiful.
Yeah, especially you living in LA. It's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
yeah,
it was a good time, a bad time, but
yeah.
as far as pollution, I'm really more concerned about pollution,
Mhm.
polluting water, polluting air, and those are things I think we can work on.
Yeah.
But we'll give you 30 points for that answer.
Thank you.
Your total right now is 85 points. You
Very
got an
nice.
extra 5 points for hanging out and being cool during the location scout.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, so let's move on. Let's keep going. What do you think you'll be doing in 10 years? This is the very like you're getting job interview question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I very well see myself in a far different position, because I even see myself in a very different position even in 2-3 years from now. I will have made a very good chunk of my dreams happen by then. And I don't even like to say dreams is the overall factor, because I know once you reach a certain part, there is always new mountains to climb. I don't think there is ever a final destination. There's ever a final outcome. I feel like there's always something new, but I feel like everything that I think of right now that I want to do and I strive to do, I will have achieved very, very far and past in 10 years. So
That's good.
that's what I view.
That's good. Yeah, nice. Yeah, 10 years is so far ahead.
Yeah. But, you know, but
It
I
goes by like
understand
this.
things go like by that. And
It does, man. Like, because all your memories, like I'm speaking from like, the experience,
yeah.
And I feel like, a lot of people when we're growing up, a lot of people don't want to be mentors.
Mm.
They don't want to help. A lot of people don't give you information. And I always try to help. I always give like information, my nieces and stuff, like things that I wish somebody had told me. I'll sit them down and I'll be like, hey, so and so and so and so. And they're, okay, we are back, and we had to take a little break there.
Quick little intermission.
Thank you all for. Maybe I could do a cut where you can't even tell. Do you remember exactly how you were sitting at the time?
Exactly like this, actually. I'm like, hey, that's exactly what I did.
This is how I was doing it.
Can you tell I'm a trained actor?
You're
Continuity,
trained,
man.
That's like cool. I loved. I used to do. Somebody called me and it's like, hey, we need somebody just to do continuity.
Mm.
Continuity, and like usually that's the or script supervisor for like who'll do also continuity, but they didn't have. They're like, just come in. We just need somebody to make sure. So I was always there taking pictures of the tables and hair, and I'd see, and I was like really good at it because I'm like very like detailed and stuff, and very. So I see like a little bit of hair is different from the last shot or the table. I'm like, no, and they're like, they don't know. We don't really. Alex, we don't. I was younger, so I was like, no, but the beer can was on this side before,
Yep.
and they're like, nobody's gonna care about that.
And that's what's interesting is I know a lot of people don't realize things and sets in the, whether it's in the background, right there in front of you, everything's very intentional.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I love watching that's why I love watching a lot of movie mistakes, things that you go, man, you're a Hollywood film. You didn't catch that.
Yeah.
You didn't catch that. Okay, so let's. I think the last thing I asked you, what will you be doing in 10 years? I think we answered that.
Yes.
And then you said, it's hard. We said, I think we
pretty much just achievability.
Yeah, we don't know where the world is going to be.
No.
And this is the last question I have. Really, I have 3 last questions. This one's not that great, but I'll just ask anyway. Okay. You could work. So you want to be an actor. So why am I asking you this? You already are an actor. So okay, let's just say you weren't in acting or whatever. You could work for any major company, corporation in the world. Which would it be?
Velarde Investments, my own company.
That was awesome. That was it.
That's it. Answer, man.
That's it, man. That's it. We're going to rule the world. We're going to take everything over, and it's going to be beautiful.
It's a plan, man. A one giant conquest.
Yeah. And maybe you'll have your own. By that time, I think you'll have your own. Because you'll get after you're running this big corporation. You're going to want to start your own podcast.
Oh yeah. I love my own little
call
videos.
me out. Call me on, like say, hey, I was on your show. And I think that's good, man. We did good 10 questions. And we talked about acting, we talked about business, entrepreneurship. We talked about music, guitar. This show gives you everything you need.
Like we got a good little couple topics in for sure.
What other podcast does anybody need?
Exactly.
We don't even ask you to like and subscribe here.
See?
I didn't say smash that like button even once.
See?
I even guessed. I guessed your birthday or your sign.
It's pretty good.
And I've never gotten anything right on this show. Actually, one time I might have done once. I got lucky. But yeah, I think we had a good run. We had a good pod.
I agree.
And I think we'll have you back over.
Sounds good, man.
Soon. And we're going to plug. Do you have any anything online?
So I have it in development. You can find it at thevelarde.com. Pretty much it'll be everything towards investing in yourself. But I'm building this online community where you can join. And pretty much it's really about kind of elevating yourself in many endeavors, especially kind of connecting people of industries like this, putting them together in the same kind of rooms, the same kind of conversation, so that way everybody can help each other out. And really, I just want to put like-minded individuals that have their own ideas of success and want to build off of that. So you can find that at thevelarde.com under Velarde Investments.
So Velarde, so you already started it. If you had told me you're like 35, 40 years old with accomplishments, I'd say, yeah, I believe it. But at 20 years old, and it comes back to, I'm going to give you a shout out to your parents and your mentors and everybody who's got you here. Because like I said before, you have a great head on your shoulders. And I'm impressed. I
don't mean to interrupt on that point. So, ironically too, a lot of it was because, was reverse role model in a way,
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, in a lot of ways, I had to be pretty independent, So a lot of things I had to find my own way, and I just I'm thankful for everything that's happened because it's developed the man I am today. So
I'm really impressed as a person who's almost 50 now. You learn a lot of things over the years, and you're way wise beyond your years.
Appreciate that.
And I don't just say you're welcome, man. And because like I could always tell when somebody has really good character, personality, good moral background, just all that stuff. And I could see that in you.
Thank you.
Like very trustworthy and likable. And I really appreciate you coming on the show. I think it's a good time. I think we'll cut it off here.
Yeah.
You like it right now? Do you want to go on for another half hour? We go on half hour?
I very well could, man.
We could talk. We could yap. We're yappers, man. We could talk. We could talk for hours.
Yeah, I always like hearing different ideas and different perspectives from different people. So,
well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Andrew Velarde, great guy. A good friend, and hope we'll see you here again soon. And we wish you lots of success in all your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
And
sounds good, man.
And
looking forward to it.
Yeah, and looking forward to having you back. Yeah. And I appreciate you making the drive all the way from Orange County.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
And we'll see you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, man. And with that, we'll say the end of episode 16, lucky number 16, 1 + 6 is 7. And we'll see you on the next one. And we're not going to tell you to like and subscribe. In reverse psychology. And don't smash that like button because that's retarded. Okay, so that's it. Cool. And we'll, with that, we'll say, producer man in the back, cut the cameras, cut sound. We're out. We'll see you again next time.
Sounds good.
All right.